You remember when talking to her felt like a downhill slide? You'd start a sentence at 8 p.m. and suddenly it was 2 a.m. But now it feels like you're trying to start a lawnmower in a blizzard. You ask, "How was your day?" She says, "Fine." You ask, "What's for dinner?" She says, "Food." You've officially entered the interrogation phase. You aren't having a conversation, you're performing a wellness check on a dying relationship. Today, we're looking at the brutal psychology of why conversations stop flowing naturally and why the harder you try to fix the silence, the faster you're actually killing the connection. Why does this happen? In psychology, we call this the emotional feedback loop. When a relationship is healthy, conversation is a reflex. But when someone pulls away, conversation becomes choreography. You're overthinking your moves because you're terrified of a dead end. We live in 2026, an era where we have 10,000 ways to communicate, but zero ways to force someone to want to talk. When the flow stops, it's usually because the shared narrative has broken. You're no longer living in the same story, so you've run out of dialogue. Here is the uncomfortable truth. You cannot logic someone back into being interested in you. Psychologically, when you try harder to make conversation, you actually appear lower value. You're signaling that you're desperate for their attention, which triggers their avoidance response. The silence isn't the problem. The silence is the symptom. If the conversation isn't flowing, it's because the emotional infrastructure has collapsed. You're trying to drive a car over a bridge that isn't there. Sometimes the only way to get the flow back is to stop talking entirely and see if they notice the silence, or if they're just relieved by it. Is your relationship currently a one-way interview? It's time to put the clipboard down. Leave a speak no evil emoji in the comments if you're done forcing the flow. Subscribe to reclaim your voice. I'll see you in the next one.